So today we're going to speak about two of my very favorite topics. It is Web3 and of course everything that we're doing here with NFTs and also marketing. And in particular, we're going to speak about sales funnels. So if you're not familiar with what that is, this is the episode for you. But of course, I'm going to bridge that all together and show how it all comes together nicely right here in Web3. Hello, I'm Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, the host of Nifty Business, where we highlight NFTs and explore Web 3.0 as we move from pure speculation to creating real-world value. So if you listen to episode 524, you heard me speak about the founders of this particular group that I'm starting, which is people that want to explore the space for business purposes. So we're talking about networking and finding other people that are like-minded, that want to build within the space other than the degens that want to speculate into things. So 524, I spoke about all that, gave the update of everything that was going on. And of course, I put out there what would eventually become Nifty Business show/founders, which is what I'm going to speak about today, and it is the funnel of what that offer was. So if you listen to that particular episode, I spoke about all the different things that I was trying to do and accomplish, but most importantly, I made the offer or put it out there that if you're interested in this, please go to that link that was in the show notes and you'll be able to get into that. Just want 100 people in there, really a proof of concept. And as I'm building out this business and working with other enterprises and so forth, well, this core group of people, what I want to have is a brain trust, if you will, a mastermind of people that want to build within this space, working with each other, leveraging my guests and leveraging the people that I'm able to get connected with, use each other as far as our skills and network with one another and build whatever it is that we're building in Web3. Well, when I put that out there, that was just a checkout page using Stripe. There was no official landing page or any kind of funnel information, anything of that nature. And that was literally all you could do is go to that page, read a little description, put in your payment information and so forth. The reason why I went that route is because, again, I didn't want to spend all the time building out all this stuff. If I didn't know there was proof of concept, I wanted to put it out there. And if a purchase was made, then I would actually build out the funnel. And that's exactly what happened. I went to sleep as soon as I went live with that. And then I was very surprised to wake up the following morning to see sales, whatever. And I said, wow, okay, now that I have proof of concept, I'm going to actually build out the funnel. So in case you don't know what a marketing funnel is or a sales funnel, think of what an actual funnel is when you're trying to pour a liquid from a big container into a smaller container. It's shaped like an inverted triangle, if you will, with the broader side on the top. So let's say you're pouring from a gallon into a very small container. Of course, you're going to put the narrow part in there and you pour from the gallon and it's going to catch all the spills. Well, when it comes to a marketing funnel, or in particular a sales funnel, what that top is, it is your broad catch-all, if you will. You're putting out content or you're putting out your workshops, anything that's really free that's going to attract people. So whether that is the content that you're putting out on X, your podcast, YouTube channel, whatever it might be, you're running all of that, just scattering it out there. You don't know exactly who's going to come into that, but those are the type of people that are cold audiences, if you will. Those are cold prospects, and they're just probably finding out who you are for the very first time. And then as they work their way down the funnel, getting to know your brand, getting to know you, what you offer, your expertise, the problems that you solve, and so forth. The idea is you get them more narrowed down to being a client or a customer, whatever it is. So usually there is various softwares that does these sorts of things. Of course, you have your content and your catch-alls, like I said, and they work through, maybe get them on your email list using some sort of freebie, like a lead magnet, a free guide, a workshop. And then eventually you're going to make an offer, and then that person makes the purchase. And of course, now they are a client, and then the whole process starts over again. Now you have a separate list of your clients, the people that you're working with. Those are the hot people. And those are the people that you then have a very different conversation with than the people who have no idea who you are or who has ever taken out their wallets and actually made a purchase from your company. And usually you're going to use a particular type of software, which is a funnel builder, which really is a page builder, a website builder, if you will. But usually the difference between a website and a funnel is that a funnel has one specific purpose. So if you go to my website, for example, you're going to see the podcast, you're going to see blogs, you're going to see emails, all these different things. But if you go to a specific funnel page, it has one purpose. A landing page gets you from point A to to point B, whether that is to put in your email, to subscribe for the newsletter, or it is to make a purchase, put in your credit card information, and whatever that is, it has one purpose. And the funnel just guides all the traffic from the broad end to the narrow end to whatever the objective is. So usually we would use a software such as ClickFunnels, you have Kartra, you have System. There is so many different ones that are out there, and they all do the same thing. And it's not the tool, if you will, that's going to make the sales. After the end of the day, you're going to have good copy. You're going to have something that's very good, that's selling the product or the service and all that. But the tool is just going to get the job done. It's no different than in Web3 with the blockchain. Technically, they all do the same thing, but it is whoever's building, what exactly are they using technology to build? Everybody has communities, everyone has art, everyone has all of these different things, but what are those founders actually building? And the same thing with a funnel builder, a page builder. It's not going to sell itself. So it doesn't matter which software you use necessarily. If what you're selling just has no interest, well, then you just have expensive, amazing software and it's still not going to sell. But let's just say that you have the idea, the service, whatever it is, and there is interest for it. Then you start to use one of these softwares to just facilitate that purchase. And it just makes it much more streamlined, less distraction than having a full-blown website. So even if you do have the website, normally you're going to make these particular sales, you're going to put them on a landing page, which strips away a lot of the links and everything, gets them from point A to point B. Now, when I built out this thing, the idea that I initially had, I could not necessarily do, and I'm going to tell you why. Well, first and foremost, you're going to notice that the landing page is going to ask for a credit card. It is regular payment. Why am I doing that instead of crypto? I wanted to make sure that this is going to have a money back guarantee. So this is the type of thing that you would see typically when you're doing any kind of purchase anywhere else. You go to Amazon or wherever it is, you don't like the product or service, guess what you can do? You can get a refund. Now, you can do that with crypto, but then there's the whole trust factor, or you're going to have to figure out how to write the smart contract in a way that it locks the funds. And then there's all sorts of rigmaroles that just... It's a complete headache. And I know the Bulls and Aves project, the first guest I ever had on the show, they had a 6-month money back guarantee. They locked it into that contract and they were pre-funded and so forth. And then after that period of time, those funds would be then opened up for the team. That was the first of its kind. That was just absolutely amazing. However, I do not necessarily have those expertise. I'm not a coder, and I'm not going to go out and hire a dev team just to do this. So I stick to what I knew. Coming from a marketing background, I know how to build funnels. I know how to use Stripe and connect all this stuff up. So I want to offer that 90-day money-back guarantee. And for me, the easiest way to do that was to use traditional payments, collect the money in fiat currencies. And I know this is a Web3 podcast. This is a Web3 mastermind with people that want to build in Web3, but yet this is a Web2 setup with credit cards and all of that stuff. Yes, I totally understand that. So if you can figure out how to build a money back guarantee mechanism that's very easy and seamless and nobody has to do coding and it's just straightforward and seamless as this, that would be very great. So if you can figure that one out, that is a business idea that you can absolutely run with. As I said, I'm not a dev. I'm not necessarily going to pick this one up and run with it because I don't have the technical expertise. And sure, I can build out a team and figure this out. However, is that really something that I'm necessarily passionate about? I don't know. Maybe. But I'll throw that out there. If you can figure it out, hey, maybe I'll be your first client. But the second idea that I also had, which was even more of a coding feat, I couldn't even figure out how to do this on a Web 2 level using the software and stuff that I'm familiar with. So to figure this out, to do this with crypto, it would have been even more of a nightmare, but was actually an increasing price. I wanted it to actually go up 1% each sale. So by the end of the 100 seats, the last person would actually be paying almost double what the first person was paying. Why would I want to do this? It just rewarded the person that came in early, that had the faith to come into this. And at the end of the day, either way, it's still going to be way underpriced or whatever it is. So having this initial group of 100 founders at this price is not the business model. This is just to have that network, if you will, that mastermind, having all our skills, leveraging it, and just doing some awesome things together. Have you ever heard the term synergy or mastermind? Well, I'm going to start with synergy first because that one's a little bit easier to understand and explain. If you're trying to lift weights, for example, right? Let's say one guy can lift up 100 pounds. Well, then two guys of the same size and strength, you would think that together they'd be able to lift 200 pounds, right? Well, no. For whatever reason, I don't know exactly how all this works out, but it is a fact. You can Google it. It's called synergy. Those two guys of the same strength, the same size, everything, when they're together, they can lift, let's say, 210 pounds, 215 pounds. The two parts alone can only lift 100, but together, for whatever reason, they can lift more. So that is synergy, where the total is actually greater than the sum of its parts, right? So the same thing actually happens with a mastermind, where these two, where people of different skill sets and expertise and whatever it is, they come together and independently of their skills and strengths and so forth, they form a collective mind that is greater than both of them. And this is something that came from Napoleon Hill. I believe it was Think and Grow Rich, and it has been used by business people and self-motivation, self-help industry and marketers and so forth for, I don't know, the last 100 years or so. It's like a proven fact that you get a group of people together, that think tank, if you will, they accomplish much greater things. And this is the type of thing that they use in NASA, they use in Pixar, they use all over the world in various companies and industries and everything. You put a whole bunch of great minds together, they do some amazing things that's way better than any of them could have accomplished on their own. It's just collectively, it is a powerful force. Well, that's what's being built here. So the value in getting into that, I was just like, okay, cool. Have that first person get in. They're being rewarded for getting it at essentially half the price that the 100th person is going to get in. But again, I could not necessarily figure out how to do that. Increase the price by 1% by every single one. So if you can figure that one out and build that out, cool, there you go. So you have two options. You have crypto payments that can do and handle the refunds automatically, not having to be coded. And you also have the ones that's going to increase as they're being sold. So this would be great for early bird ticketing or anything of that nature. It doesn't have to be 1% per ticket sale or whatever it might be. It could just be, okay, at that set time or that set amount, then the price goes up and so forth. Whatever schedule it is, have that automatic just built in from the day one and not needing any code. Awesome. That'd be a cool thing to build. So you can run with that one right there, especially if you could do this with crypto and those two features together. Awesome. So going back to this whole thing now, I decided, okay, I'm going to build out this funnel. I ended up going with System.io. It really doesn't matter which one of those tools I said. Again, there's a whole bunch of them. Depending which one you want to use, your preferences, they have their pros or cons and so forth. But I use System.io and I built out the sales funnel. I go to test it with my own credit card, make the purchase and everything. But there was a huge issue. That initial welcome email with the information as to what's going to come, it just was not going out. And I could not figure this out. I wasted an entire day trying to troubleshoot and get this thing to work. And I was just so frustrated. And then it dawned on me, we live in an age of AI. Why don't I ask Bing? And less than a minute later, I had my answer, had the thing fixed. Then I just had to sit back and wait for all the servers and everything on the back end to sync up, the domain to be verified, if you will, all these technical things that you probably won't have to really deal with. But I just want you to know that was what was happening. So I sat back. Once it was all synced up, ready to go, I tried it again. I made another test purchase and bingo, it worked. Made my little thread. I threw it out there and said, cool, I got the thing up and running. And I was jumping for joy like a little kid. It was awesome. And now I'm up and running. niftybusiness.show/founders. That is the page right there. Thanks to Bing, it would have saved me a day. It would have had it up there, but that is the awesome thing. But in case you're not familiar, just running through all the benefits and everything that's going to be with this and how exactly it works, of course, this is just unlocking opportunities in Web3, even if you're not a coder. So this is that mastermind that I was talking about, a futurist, building Web3 together, and it's going to be networking. There's going to be live events. So any kind of things that I'm doing, this is all going to be included. Bonus content, one-on-one meetings. Of course, right after the purchase, you're going to have the opportunity to hop on my calendar. We can talk about whatever it is that you would like to accomplish in Web3 and how I can help you to accomplish that. Of course, bringing on guests and so forth. There's going to be AMAs, so opportunity to ask me different things. We're going to have behind the scenes content for any kind of future events, anything that we're launching, of course, have that access for that. And as I said, in building out these features and services, well, as you're building what you're building, guess what? You're going to be able to tap into that itself. And as someone who was early in this thing, guess what? You're going to get all those benefits as the business grows. And what I added on since recording that first podcast episode is I'm going to put in a physical perk, right? Again, trying to make this fun, trying to build in some awesome people. And the physical perk that I'm going to put in for every 10 people that end up joining this, I'm going to do a drawing for Jamaican Blue Mountain Coffee. So that is the thing. Worldwide shipping, doesn't matter where you are. I'm just going to send that out to you. And of course, it is optional. You don't have to be in that. But the cool thing about this is if you're person number 1 through 10, you're going to be in each drawing, right? I'm going to give away 10 of these things. So if you're 1 through 10, you're going to be in each drawing. If you're number 90 through 100, you're only going to be in that last drawing. So each time that there is the drawing, every 10 people that come in, if you're early, you're going to have an opportunity to win that. So that's absolutely cool. Now, for whatever reason, if you decide that you do not want this coffee or whatever it is, I don't know, maybe I'll figure out something where you can try to sell the rights to this thing or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll have an NFT for it. I don't know exactly how that's going to go. But people do like coffee, right? This is like the world's best coffee. Not my biased opinion, but this is what it says in various coffee magazines. It sells for a premium price on Amazon. And I was like, okay, cool. I give these out as gifts all the time to my friends and family that are abroad. So why not, right? I'll throw this in there. And again, as you can see, go to Amazon, look at the price of 100% Blue Mountain coffees, plus the shipping of this thing. I mean, it's really not cheap. But again, just telling you, like, that is the goal. Just trying to get some people into this thing that are just awesome, like-minded, and so forth. niftybusiness.show/founders. And in case you're wondering, okay, why am I using that particular link? Just another little tidbit for when you're doing marketing things like this, you're directing people towards a funnel. If you use various links, say niftybusiness.show, niftybusiness.co, so forth and whatnot, you can actually track to see where your traffic is coming from. Are these people hearing from the podcast? Are they hearing from the email? So just depending on the channels, you might want to just play around with that. Use different links, different endings to direct people to whatever your offer is. So you got a little bonus, a little marketing tip right there. So that way you can figure out where your traffic is coming from, what channel is working best. But generally speaking, like I said, this is just some cool stuff that I'm building out. And if you can think of how to build those Web3 solutions, the payments and so forth, I mean, that would be a pretty cool business in itself. And I think that would be something that's very profitable. So yeah, you can check that out. You can give me some feedback on the funnel if you have any thoughts, comments, concerns. But as usual, I just want to thank you for taking time to listen to this as we're learning and building Web3 together. So until next time, later. The Nifty Business Show is not investment advice. It provides insights and information within the space. As with anything, please do your own research before making a decision whether you're making an investment or a purchase.